In today's video, we're checking out the Four Seasons Hotel Las Vegas. This is a One Michelin Key hotel that acts as a luxury non-gaming and non-smoking sanctuary. If you need to be in Vegas for work but hate the idea of Vegas, then this is the perfect hotel. We'll look at the property, talk about the location, and run through what it's like to stay here. Towards the end, I'll give you my score, which might surprise you. Big favor before we dive in is to give this a thumbs up to help with the algorithm, and if you're new here and want to upgrade your travel, consider subscribing. Today we're checking out the Four Seasons in Las Vegas. So it's gonna be right over here, and opening it up, we have the airport. So this should be pretty nice, either late night when we turn off all the lights, or during the daytime if you like plane spotting. We ended up booking the standard room and got upgraded to the Superior King, and let's start over here with little table. So not bad at all, good height for me, maybe a little bit low on the seat, but works. There also is a bunch of art on the wall, so this is a white cube and a black cube here. Also, in case you're curious, they do have a note here. So we trust you'll enjoy this in-room amenity during your stay. Should you choose to take any home though, the respective charges will be added to your bill. The Bose speaker is $300, so pretty expensive speaker. Charging pad is $65, sound machine is $100, Four Seasons book is $120, and Natural Bliss bath amenities are $75 each. Feel free to use it during your stay, but if you take it, they're gonna charge you. Spinning around over here, we have another seat. This one does swivel. It's actually pretty comfortable. I think it'd be great to watch TV if you don't want to be on a bed. Also, I guess great for plane spotting. The room does use a lot of whites and cream tones and then some blacks to contrast. It kind of works to me, everything looks pretty good, and if I were to design a nice apartment, it would actually look something like this. This is the charging pad, lights over here. I don't think this is marble, this is plastic, but it looks like marble. More art on the wall back there. This is the bed. It's very comfortable. One thing they do offer at check-in is a pillow menu, so we ended up asking for additional memory foam ones. Pretty good. That's what we're used to at home, so I'm actually really glad they offered this. Definitely one of the nicer beds we've tried. Towards the back, there's going to be a reading light, and also this fabric back base. And during turn-down service, they do provide you a bunch of different things. So laundry basket, shoe bags, as well as another laundry bag. So if you need to get anything done, then they can do that for you at cost. Prices are not as bad as I thought they would be. Like by all means, it's not cheap. I don't think I would use it, but for the Four Seasons, I feel like they could probably double the prices and people would probably pay. For example, dry cleaning a two-piece suit is $29. A three-piece tuxedo or suit is $31, and a jacket or coat is $17. Laundry though is pretty aggressive. So socks or handkerchief are $7 each, and trousers are $15. Again, I wouldn't use it, but it's an option. They also do provide slippers as well. Ooh, they're actually pretty good with customer care in that they don't have similar sizes, so they have a large one and a medium one. So I looked at Mandy and knew she was medium. The shoes are white label, Four Seasons. Not the thickest, but it works. Could be a little bit more cushiony. This is one of the few hotels on the strip that actually do turn-down service, and even for us, we have a one-night stay and they did it, so that's awesome. Most hotels now, even some of the higher-end ones, just don't bother. Over here, we have the sound machine. So if you are someone that wants some white noise to go to sleep, then this is perfect. Down here is a drawer with earplugs. Oh, that's really smart. And then a bunch of Four Seasons envelopes, and even the coasters are actually pretty nice. So they're kind of like engraved and feel really good. Flipping over to this side, we have a light and also the TV. Pretty sizable TV. Probably will try it later on tonight. Down here, we have two drawers that are empty if you are staying a bit longer. And yeah, more empty drawers. Bose speaker is right over here. This is the in-room dining menu and the prices. So these are kind of the late night and lunch style ones. So day to night. They have caviar right on top for $175. But otherwise, most of the normal items are about $20. And a classic Caesar salad is $34. If you can, I'd probably just go downstairs. If you want breakfast in room, then it's $28 for avocado toast, $32 for house smoked salmon, and $21 for overnight oats. Also know that this is not including additional fees, so there is a service charge delivery fee of $10 and 18% gratuity and taxes that'll be added to that bill. Maybe we're a bit weird, but we generally don't use this. Happy to go downstairs if needed. Oh wow. Even their paper is like, it feels very like textured and high quality. Interesting. You can also do in-room workout stuff. If you want a Peloton exercise bike in here, it's $175 per day. Their gun is $50 per day. Over here is the thermostat, so very old school, but like it could use an update. One nice touch is that they do offer humidifiers, so they asked us at check-in whether we would like one. We said yes, and here it is. Given how dry Vegas is, it's nice to have. In fact, a friend that goes to Vegas a lot says the one thing he brings himself is a mini humidifier. Heading over here, we have the closet. So very straightforward, some hangers, feel pretty nice, some serration teeth. These ones are, I think, for dresses, and also some nice thick ones for your pants. And then 2 luggage racks over here. Here is the mini bar as well as the 2 expensive books that if you decide to take, they charge you for. So right up here. What is free though is going to be the coffee by using the coffee machine as well as teas. You can't take the coffee machine, that's not okay. But you can use the coffee machine. It is from Lavazza and some pretty nice stuff. They also do refill it during turn down service, so I had one before dinner and now it's back to 6. Here is an ice bucket that they actually filled up. So that's really good service. It was empty before we came and they filled it up during turn down. Really good service across the board. I also really like that they have a kettle to make some hot water or teas, and I'm probably going to use this later as well. On the right hand side of this is going to be everything they charge for and the area that I would not touch. So prices are pretty aggressive as you'd expect. The chocolate almonds are 17, wine is 45, that's going to be below. And then for example, the Pringles are 11. Yeah, not really worth it to me. Go downstairs or DoorDash or Uber Eats. Oh, the water bottle is $49, the Four Seasons one. And then this one has a key which says private bar. It also is in cursive in case your kids can't read. So I think the main reason for this is to keep your kids out of the liquor cabinet, and there is a bit of a liability thing as well. So you either have to sign a piece of paper saying that you're okay with it or that you're just in charge and responsible. Yeah, a lot of drinks here and also sun bomb towards the bottom. So the spirits are about 17 to 18 bucks. Wine is 40 to 45, champagne 64, then the sunscreen is 20, and it's a very small sunscreen. In here is going to be the bathroom. Very straightforward for the most part, but it is part of the upgrade and how we went from a basic room to a superior room, main reason being the tub. A little grimy, to be honest. So it has like a layer of that dust over it, which makes me think no one has used it for a while. But otherwise it's a good size. Yeah, not bad at all. Is my back dirty?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, painting over here. Body wash bar is from Natura Bissé. If you don't feel like taking a bath, there also is a shower, and it is a bit on the low end. So I think I can touch it off my head with my tippy toes. So if you are above 6 foot, then might not be a fun time. Might need to be a bit back here or like crouched down. Relatively low ceiling, which is also interesting because a lot of basketball players like staying at this hotel. So I kind of wonder if some of the rooms are set up a bit differently. I mean, I guess no one's pulling this up normally, but I feel like that should be clean. So this is the bath foam, conditioner, and shampoo. Probably nitpicking, but I feel like that shouldn't look like that. Bathrobes are going to be over here, and they are pretty thick and towely. Feel pretty nice. I'm probably using this later. It is Four Seasons labeled, and you can also see it over here, a bit lower and less obvious. Pretty much a giant towel though. Shower cap. This is going to be Q-tips and also cotton pads. And that's it. Oh, also a little bit damaged. So quite a few chips on this stuff. Hand wash and body lotion. Definitely an interesting system. Bathroom is pretty bright as well with this whole accenting light around the mirror. Spinning around, we have the toilet. More square art and otherwise pretty normal. It's not a bidet or anything interesting. Hair dryer is from Infinity Pro Conair. I don't really use this, so I can't judge, but it does feel a bit firmer than some of the other ones that you like click-clack with. So the other ones you and then they click into base, but yeah, this one doesn't. Last but not least, we have the closet. So another one over here, some ironing starch, iron, safe over here, shoehorn, shoe brush. Down here is just storage, iron board over here, and then a Four Seasons umbrella. In case you're wondering, our room is right over here. So even though it is an upgrade as a superior room, it's still a relatively small room. So much so that the dot is actually bigger than the room, and I think a lot of the other rooms next to us are either about the same size or even slightly bigger. If you are looking for something fancier, there are definitely way bigger rooms.
In terms of booking, your choices here are directly through Four Seasons, through a VIP portal, or a bank portal where your points get boosted. I'd run the numbers for your dates and situation, and also whether you would use the benefits. In terms of price, based on when we typically go, it ends up floating around $350 to $450. Still though, it's almost always the most expensive option within the VIP portal choices, so keep that in mind. Also, the credits for other properties are significantly more flexible. Many can be used for food, which make them more tangible. Wynn is the other major one that has a spa credit, and in recent years, they've allowed you to convert this to food. Four Seasons has a spa credit that cannot be converted. That's not to say that this isn't a good property, but just keep that in mind before you book. If you want to learn about cards to get access to bank VIP portals, we have links on the website asksebby.com and also down below in the description box. Make sure the links are competitive, but otherwise, it's a huge way to support the channel, so thank you in advance. If you don't have a flagship card, I'd check out Cardonomics that I'll link down below to access VIP rates. This allows you to book preferred partner rates for, let's say, 516. Interestingly, the partner rates here are the same as the base rates, but include breakfast that would normally cost you extra if you booked directly. I'll link it down below with the current password if you want to check it out. The first thing that stands out is that Four Seasons doesn't really feel like a casino hotel. The hotel is located in the Mandalay Bay Tower, but Four Seasons occupies its own set of floors, and their rival experience is separate. That means that typically you're not walking through a casino floor with luggage unless your Uber driver doesn't know where to go. You can still get the Vegas experience, but you're not forced through the maze of slot machines if you don't want it. With that said, the amenities are a bit more limited. There's a fitness center that's 24/7 with a lot of equipment, including treadmills, ellipticals, and a few Peloton spin bikes. The back area has some strength machines and free weights with benches, but relatively compact here. This gym is great for cardio, but can get a bit tight for strength training, especially in the mornings. Speaking of which, the cardio side has floor-to-ceiling windows that look towards the pool and garden. This is nice during the day, but hard to appreciate at night. Maybe I'm alone, but the gym here feels a bit dated and just doesn't scream premium Four Seasons. It works for what it is, but I could imagine it being a lot nicer. There's a spa on property, and if you have a credit, I'd strongly recommend making an appointment before you arrive. One of the big draws of the Four Seasons is that they have their own private pool. This is only accessible by hotel guests and gives you a more relaxed and quiet experience. If you're looking for a calm afternoon to read rather than day club party vibes, then this is perfect. That said, you can still access Mandalay Bay's broader resort amenities, including the bigger pool area, lazy river, and wave pool. This gives you a ton of optionality, especially if you like to toggle between experiences and want to mix it up. Food-wise, your choices here are limited. Bourbon Steak by Michael Mina is the hotel's premier steakhouse option. This is in the old Charlie Palmer steak space, and it's a newer addition to the property. Don't feel limited to eat here since Vegas has a ton of good options both on and off strip. Press is the lounge with cocktails and small bites. It also pulls double duty as the hotel's coffee shop in the morning. Here they have coffee drinks, juices, pastries, fruit cups, salads, and sandwiches. Veranda is the main restaurant for breakfast and lunch and serves Californian food. If you booked through a VIP program, this is where you'll have breakfast. Location-wise, Four Seasons is on the southern end of the strip attached to Mandalay Bay. That's probably the biggest trade-off. If you're trying to be right in the middle of the strip, walking between Bellagio, Aria, Caesars, Cosmopolitan, and Wynn, this is not that. You're going to be farther south, and depending on the weather, your shoes, and how much walking you want to do, you'll probably end up using rideshare more often than not. With that said, the location does have a few advantages. First, it's very close to the airport. If you're flying into LAS and you want something easy, this is one of the more convenient luxury options. You can land, get to the hotel pretty quickly, and not spend a ton of time in transit. Second, it's useful if you're doing anything around Mandalay Bay, Michelob Ultra Arena, or Allegiant Stadium. For concerts, events, football games, or conferences in this part of the strip, this location can be very convenient. Third, if you want Vegas but don't want maximum Vegas all the time, the South Strip location actually helps. You're close enough to access everything, but far enough that the hotel feels like a retreat when you're done. For first-time Vegas visitors who want to walk everywhere and be in the center of everything, I'd probably look more central. For others, the location is a feature and not a bug.
For dinner, we're at Palatine Lounge, which is one of the best Cantonese and dim sum restaurants in Vegas. Funny enough, this also exists in San Francisco, and the first ones were from there. It is one of our favorite restaurants, and the fact that I'm a little bit sick makes me nostalgic for Chinese food. One big difference between the ones here and the ones in San Francisco is that there are a lot more food options, and we're trying a bunch of the new ones. Before that though, let's start with a signature, which is the beef Cao Fun. Pretty solid and great wok hei. They also have happy hours here, so this is the pork belly bao. This one is, I don't know. Mandy, tell us what this is.
The egg tofu with mushrooms.
Interesting. This one's a soft shell crab rice roll. Let's try the pork bun. This one is a happy hour one. Pretty good. It's like melt in your mouth pork belly, and the sauce is the Peking like hoisin sauce. It is a bit fatty given the nature of it, but not too bad. I'd recommend getting this one. Beef Cao Fun's good, but I think you can also get really good beef one elsewhere, so I'd probably skip that one unless you've never had it. The portions here are also a lot bigger than San Francisco, so not really used to sizing. I would say it's like a good 25 to 33% bigger, for the same price too. One that I'm excited to try is going to be the soft shell crab rice roll. There is a sauce as well. It's okay, the dough's a little bit thick, so I don't think I get it again. It kind of doesn't really work because soft shell crab, you want it to be very crispy and like crunchy and stuff, and then this is kind of the opposite where I have a tougher time. There is a breadstick one that I really like, so for congee that you typically dip, I feel like that one is better at keeping the moisture at bay, so a bit different there. And the soft shell crab's just tougher given the nature of soft shell crab. The last one is tofu mushrooms with some veggies. So different cauliflower colors, mushroom, the gnocchi and normal, and kind of a bunch of them, and also the tofu. It is a fried type, but also where it's absorbed flavor. It's pretty good, but not something I would regularly order. I mean, Mandy really likes it though, so it works out. It's not bad by any means, but I just don't have a craving for that dish. It's still super tasty and worth trying. For breakfast, I got the bay omelet, and it looks amazing. Really light and delicate, and tons of crab. It's a really good omelet. Wow. Also little bacon bits and some sauce, but it's not overwhelming at all. It's super fluffy. Let's try the hash brown. One of the best hash browns I've ever had. This is actually an amazing breakfast. This is like an S-tier breakfast. This is really good. Mandy got the crab sticks Benedict, and let's give hers a try. Really good sauce that ties it together, super light, but lots of crab as well. Also really good, but I like the bay omelet a bit better. Her sauce is also a bit stronger. If you like breakfast, I think you're going to love this.
Rating the Four Seasons is a bit tough, and it depends on your measuring sticks. For the soft product, I'd put it into S tier. It's one of the few hotels in Vegas where I didn't feel like cattle. The fact they have a pillow menu and offer to bring a humidifier is amazing. The one catch here is that noticeable upgrades are basically non-existent. First off, the Four Seasons here has a lot of different levels for the rooms. Even though you might be guaranteed a one-level upgrade, it feels very inconsequential. Other properties will happily upgrade you 2 to 3 levels if it's not busy, but Four Seasons is very by the book here and won't do that. Just go in with the right expectations that this is a very different hotel from the rest of Vegas. In terms of the hard product, I'd probably put it into B tier. Compared to other Four Seasons, it feels dated and worn out. Maybe unfair, but I just wasn't really blown away. If we compare it to other Vegas hotels, it also falls behind a bit given the amenities. Even during the off-season when things get more affordable, it's almost always the most expensive pick within VIP portals. Add in the fact that with other options, their credits are for dining, while here it's a spa credit, it just becomes tougher. We go to Vegas to eat, so more food credits is always nice. In contrast, we aren't really spa people, so it's just harder to value. Overall, I think the Four Seasons is a great hotel for the right traveler. If you hate the smoke, gambling, and noise of Vegas, this is a great pick that teleports you away. On the other hand, if you're here to party, to drink, or walk the strip, it's probably a skip. If you made it to this point, leave a slot machine emoji in the comments down below and I'll try to heart it and respond. 3 questions. Have you stayed at Four Seasons Las Vegas? Do you prefer quieter hotels in Vegas, or do you want the full casino resort energy? And if you were booking a luxury Vegas hotel, what's your go-to pick? Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. Big favor thumbs up, share this with someone planning a Vegas trip, but otherwise, hope you liked it. See you on the road.